The Unfinished Dream. Ethan was an ordinary boy from a small, quiet town where nothing extraordinary ever happened. But Ethan wasn't like the other kids in his town. He carried a heavy weight of sadness that no one could understand. While others laughed, played, and dreamed of simple lives, Ethan lived in a world of his own, locked away from everyone else. His parents were hard-working people who wanted the best for him, but they never noticed how deeply lost Ethan was. They thought his silence was shyness, or just a phase, not realizing that their constant emphasis on practical dreams was suffocating his true passion. A hidden passion. Ethan's secret was his music. In the stillness of the night, he would take out his old, battered guitar and play soft, haunting melodies. He had taught himself by watching videos on a second-hand phone, spending hours perfecting chords and tunes. But he never sang aloud. His voice was meant only for his dreams. In his mind, he stood on grand stages, with bright lights illuminating him, his voice filling massive halls and the crowd applauding his every word. Yet, reality crushed him daily. His parents dismissed his passion for music as a distraction, urging him to focus on his studies and find a real career. Ethan began to believe that maybe they were right. Perhaps his dreams were foolish. He stopped practicing as often and pushed his guitar under his bed. His room became a prison where he stared out the window, feeling the weight of an invisible chain pulling him down. The night that changed everything. One particularly quiet night, Ethan sat on the rooftop, staring at the stars. He felt small, insignificant, and utterly hopeless. He began humming a tune, one of the many unfinished songs he had written but never shared with anyone. Out of nowhere, an old man appeared. His face was lined with age, but his eyes sparkled with a strange energy. "That melody," the man said, startling Ethan, "it carries your sadness, but also your power." Ethan looked at the man in confusion. "Who are you? And what do you mean?" The old man smiled and sat beside him. "I've seen boys like you before. Boys with big dreams trapped in small places. You're scared. Scared to fail. Scared to dream. But if you let fear guide you, your sadness will never leave." Ethan hesitated before asking, "What can I do?" "My dreams don't matter. No one believes in them." The old man chuckled. "Then you start by believing in them yourself. Opportunities aren't given. They're made. Your voice is your gift. But gifts are wasted without courage." The first step. Ethan couldn't stop thinking about the old man's words. The next morning, he did something he'd never dared to do before. He signed up for a local music competition. The day of the competition arrived, and Ethan was terrified. He hadn't performed in front of anyone before, let alone a crowd. His palms were sweaty, and his heart pounded in his chest. When his name was called, he stepped onto the small stage, the spotlight blinding him. Whispers from the audience reached his ears. "Isn't that the quiet boy? What is he doing here?" Ethan took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and began to sing. At first, his voice trembled, but as the melody flowed, something magical happened. His voice grew stronger, filled with the raw emotion he had kept bottled up for years. The room fell silent, captivated by the pain and beauty in his song. When he finished, the crowd erupted in applause. Ethan stood there, overwhelmed. For the first time, he felt seen, heard, and alive. Rising above. That night marked the beginning of Ethan's journey. He didn't win the competition, but he gained something far more valuable: confidence. He began practicing more seriously, performing at small events and posting his music online. Slowly, people started noticing him. His songs, filled with heartfelt lyrics and haunting melodies, resonated with many. Of course, the journey wasn't easy. Ethan faced rejection, criticism, and self-doubt. There were days he wanted to give up, but he remembered the old man's words. Opportunities aren't given. They're made. A full circle years later, Ethan found himself standing on the stage of a packed concert hall. The dream he once thought was impossible, now his reality. The lights were blinding. The crowd roared his name, and his heart swelled with gratitude. As he looked out into the sea of faces, his eyes caught a familiar figure in the back. A man with a lined face and sparkling eyes. Ethan smiled, knowing the old man had been right all along. Message of the story. Ethan's journey teaches us that dreams, no matter how impossible they seem, can come true with courage, perseverance, and self-belief. Even in the darkest moments, there's a light waiting to guide us forward, if only we dare to follow it.